We've reached a great point here in Belvau. Things are really humming along, and that means the fun is just beginning. Because today, we're going to be unlocking some of the most interesting buildings yet, including the post office, perfumer, and jeweler. And perhaps most importantly, we'll be welcoming in the bourgeois, the next tier of citizens and the ones with the most luxurious demands yet. We'll also be gaining access to larger 3-story buildings, which means that Belvau can finally start feeling like a real city. So today, we'll redevelop, increase our density, and add plenty of new city services. We'll also start completing some of those quests that we've been neglecting, because if we don't, we're missing out on some great detailing options. And you all know just how much landscaping and detailing mean to me. So sit back, relax, and let's build in town to city. And if you're enjoying this series, hit the like button and consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future episodes. And without further ado, let's jump right in. Most of the buildings that we're going to add to Belvau today are locked behind the city milestone. Now, getting there should be fairly simple for us. All that we have to do is have 80 artisans, and reasonably, we could just upgrade some of the homes around the lake to get there. But I don't want to do that. I want to think about where we're going to place all these buildings. And as I look at Belvau, it makes me think that we are probably going to need to do a bit of redevelopment. In particular, I've identified 3 blocks and the mayor's house for redevelopment. These 2 blocks right here, I think, are a little bit underutilized, a little bit plain, and we could do a little bit something grander in these locations, maybe even combining these blocks to add larger buildings. And then right here, I feel like this block is pretty plain, and honestly, we could do something better. Now, the mayor's house is going to be redeveloped because of where I placed this relative to the rest of the map. There's this pathway up here, and it was pretty poor planning to block this off. It means that we wouldn't easily be able to get around the other side of the train station, which is something that I want to at least leave the possibility for in the future. And honestly, privatizing this lake wasn't a great look. But before we do any redevelopment, I want to spend down some of our research points. And there are 2 things in particular that I think are going to be incredibly helpful for us. First is the new money vault, which will double our financial capacity. And second is 3rd floor housing. This will allow us to add a bit more density. And with those unlocked, let's get redeveloping. And I want to start out with the mayor's house. And I think I'm going to relocate this entirely and maybe move it closer to these homes up here. And that looks pretty good right there. And again, it frees up the space over here, which is what I really cared about. So I'll eliminate all of this. And now it's as though that never happened. So let's do a little bit of planning and plan for what will happen here in the future. So I want to rethink this road. It's a little bit janky, and I feel like this is an important corridor. It should be. So let's clean it up a bit. And this feels much more appropriate, like we're giving some thought to the future. So let's reconfigure this area just a bit so that we have some space for some city serving uses over here. I think that looks pretty darn good. Now, initially I was thinking that I would just kind of taper off the density, but reasonably, this is right downtown. So that's why I was moving some folks around, and then I ended up stopping. But what that means is that we've got some space here for more residents. So I'm going to move some in. And now that we moved those new families in, we have some deficits here that we have to resolve. And we've got a fair number of artisans and townsfolk that aren't working, so I'm going to assign them to the research center so that we can start unlocking as many buildings as possible. And now let's redevelop a couple blocks over here. And what I'm thinking is we're going to start to move towards this small lake. And we use this as our jumping off point. I think I'm going to take some of these single-story buildings and move them up here. And now I'll reconfigure things here just a bit. And that opens up so many possibilities right here. So let's move a few more people in and then upgrade some more of these homes around the lake. And now we have enough artisans, but everything is breaking. So let's get things repaired. Now at this point, we're one townsfolk family short of being able to fill this. So I'll upgrade this house, move a family in, and once again, reach an equilibrium. And with that, we have 87 artisans, which means that our town can become a city. Holy cow, that thing is massive and very grand. I love the way that it looks. That's great. And we've reached stage 6 and have a whole bunch of new research options available to us. And I want to go there right away and look at all of these awesome options. Now, one of the reasons that I cleared this parcel right here is because I wanted to place some of these buildings there. And I think I want to start out with a library and a school. Now, I believe that these are some of our first public service buildings. Indeed, they are, and they are very expensive. The library is almost half of our money. And this thing is absolutely massive, but what a beautiful building. And I decided to situate this right across from this little farmer's market that we have going on right here. What I think I want to do is clean up the roads so that this feels a little bit more manicured. Now we'll get some employees added here. And my guess is this has made these buildings right here some of the most luxurious in town. And indeed, we have 26 out of 12 luxury. And this is going to be critical because I think that that means that these residents are primed to be upgraded. But we're going to have to wait for some more research points. So in the meantime, let's expand. Man, I lost myself for a moment there, but I really like the way that this little neighborhood has come out. There's only one problem, and that's that these families don't have access to food. So I'm going to take this little area right here and create a little neighborhood marketplace. And unfortunately, even after building this, these folks aren't connected because we now don't have enough transporters. So we'll add a couple more right here. And now everything's good to go. And now I think it's finally time to unlock our bourgeois class. And we get 2 bourgeois residences, one with blue roofs and one with red roofs. The blue roofs are from Belvau and the red roofs are from Fonbrock. So that means if I upgrade these ones right here, they'll have blue roofs and these ones will have red roofs. Let's upgrade them. And I can't bring myself to upgrade these ones because I like the way they look so much. So we're going to have to find some other Fonbrock homes to upgrade. But ultimately, it's not time for that at all. Look at this. Everything is breaking down. And I think it comes down to the library. And apparently that wasn't enough. Looks like these homes don't have enough luxury anymore. So we're going to need to add something in the area. Or it's over here. These also broke down. And that indeed fixed everything. Perfect. I just want to take a moment to admire these buildings. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. I'm wondering if we can get these to be a little bit closer. And indeed we can. And look at that. Just some beautiful row homes. That looks outstanding. It makes me want to upgrade even more of these. But here's the thing. We currently have 11 bourgeois residents and they have no jobs. So we're going to need to wait to upgrade any more of these until we have something for them to do. The other thing is we don't have any artisans and we only have 1 townsfolk, so we've got to move some more people in. Now, the residents that want to move into the community have needs. They want to be near public service buildings and they want to be near shops. I'll grab these folks right here and move them over here. And this family that wants to be near houseware should be happier here. And then I'll take this family and move them right here because they want to live near public services. And that gives us a few residents that we can assign somewhere, and I want to assign them all to the research center. Perfect. And now while we wait to bank some research points, let's fulfill some of these quests. I dreamed my friends and I were trapped in a maze and couldn't find our way out. It was so good. Could you, pretty please with sugar on top, create a really super good maze for us? One with tall hedges and lots of twists and a bench in the middle where we can meet? I bet everyone will love it, even grown-ups. Challenge accepted. And they've given us a tall hedge to accomplish the task. So for this, we have to set the area for our crazy maze. And I think I'll place this right here, right next to the mayor's house. And here's our tall hedge. We'll place a way in right here, get a better position, and start mazing. And you know, I probably went a little bit harder than the game was anticipating, but I think that it looks great. And Laura says, amazing. Now we can all get super really lost in the maze. I can't wait to try it out. Hey everyone, the maze is done. Let's go. And we got 500 bucks and we're maxed out of money, so it doesn't matter. But that kid's got a lot of money, so great. And now we've got a lot of research points. Let's spend some down. And I think that I want to unlock the candle maker. And the whole reason that I want to unlock this one is I want to get to the candle decorations. They are so cool. This is a fairly decent sized building. You know, I think ideally we would place that over here where we have our bourgeois residence. We don't really have any space though, so maybe we'll go over here. And to fit this here, all we have to do is eliminate that fence piece. And this got a little bit too close to this road right here, so I'm going to bump it over just a bit. And then we'll fill in the gaps with stone. And I won't worry about fixing the rest of the plaza until we have a building right here. But in the meantime, let's add some workers here. And interestingly, all the workers here will be artisans, and we don't have enough right now. So we're going to expand in 2 locations. First, I want to build a little bit around the lake. And this looks great, but it's only 5 families that can live there. So let's focus on adding density now. And what I'm thinking is we're just going to increase the size of a few of these buildings right here. And then move some of these folks in. Now, this family wants a house with a wall mural, which we don't have access to right now. We've got a lot of research points, so let's see if we can unlock them. And I know right off the bat, I want to get the candle decorations. And you know, the whole reason we don't have access to those is we haven't completed quests. So what I think I'm going to do is move this family right here. We'll move the folks that want wall murals into this home right here. And honestly, I guess it doesn't matter because we have windows that are decorated, which is good enough for them. And then we'll have one more family right here. Now, this is broken basically everything. So we'll get everything fixed up quickly. And now I think I have enough workers on the dot to fill up the candle maker, and plenty for the warehouse as well. And we still have plenty of research points available. So let's unlock the jeweler and the perfumer. I want to see if one or both of those will fit right here. And they both look fairly small, and that was incredibly misleading. This one actually is pretty small. So I feel like we could fit this here, but it almost feels like this is not oriented in the correct direction. So rather than shoehorning it here, I'm going to reconfigure things over here. And I think I want to move both of these buildings. However, I don't really have a good spot for them right now. And that makes me think that I'm going to need to do something about this warehouse that I've been kind of putting off moving for quite some time. This is the entryway into the city, and seeing this warehouse right here is kind of off-putting. So I want to see if there's a better spot for this. And knowing that we have another warehouse right here, I'm thinking rather than moving this, I'm going to add a small warehouse right here. Then I'll demolish this, load this up with workers, and do the same with this one. Now over here, we are far exceeding our demand now. But honestly, I might just add a large warehouse back here. I don't think that's a big deal, actually. That's because this is actually fairly well hidden back here. But here's the thing, not even this is good enough. So that makes me think that adding the extra warehouse efficiency is the right path for us. And it took a little while, but we finally have the research points to unlock it. Now that's interesting. Because it's efficiency, it actually allows us to take 2 employees away from here and still meet our needs. That's actually great. That means we can do the exact same thing over here. And now we can finally move these. And that is a much nicer entryway into the downtown area. And I got to use some of the candles and just look at how cool they are. You can add some rope lights if you put them on the eave like this. And you can also have candles sitting outside of the window, which is incredibly dangerous, but incredibly cool looking. So that opens up this whole area right here for us. And I'm going to clear the whole thing out. And that's because I feel like we could have a nice row of buildings right here. And this also gives us the opportunity to switch over to the Font Braque bourgeois residence as well. That looks so good. I love all of these buildings so much. Now we have to get them all operational. And I've been drawing sidewalks by using plazas and then getting rid of draw over existing paths. And then having nice little connections like this. And now we'll move some more folks in. And it looks like we can't turn out our perfumer because we don't have any lavender. But we have an easy fix for that. Now that we have larger farms, we could expand the size of this farm and add lavender. But here's the thing, there's no good place to add it here, but nothing says that we have to add it here. We can add this wherever we want. So here by our hobby farms, I'm gonna add some to this backyard over here. And I'm not going to overthink this. I think that this is good enough. We have enough lavender to turn on our perfumer. And now back in Belvau, all we have to do is toggle this, make sure that it's connected to the road, and add some workers. And after a few adjustments, everything is fully operational once again. Just looking at this makes me want to adjust it slightly. And that, in my opinion, looks a ton better. And with that, our research is totally maxed out again. So let's unlock a few more things, including the chapel, newspaper stand, and the wooden furniture decorations. I'm really excited to place that chapel, but before we do, I want to finish up this block right here because I feel like it could use a bit more detailing. And in particular, I'm just not really satisfied with how this area looks. And in my opinion, this feels a ton better, but we need to have a couple of workers here, and we currently don't really have all that many. We don't even have enough for the newspaper stand. Unfortunately, we're one short. So we've got to continue to expand. And I think what we're going to do is push some of these a bit higher. And now that we moved those couple of families in, I should be able to take some of the folks from the research center and reallocate them. And then take a few from the warehouse as well. And once again, equilibrium. Next, I really want to find something to fit here. Now, we had the school and the chapel, but I don't think either of those are very appropriate for this location. So instead, I'm going to unlock the post office, which should be a perfect fit there. And in my opinion, that looks absolutely fantastic. But we've got to get some workers here. And for that, we're going to need, wow, so many townsfolk. And this time, I think we'll add some folks up here. Now, this is a nice little neighborhood. I really like the way that this area is turning out. So let's get some people moved in. And they'll like any house around here. So will this family. But I don't know that they will. Oh, we got one house for them. Oh, unfortunately, this has upset the apple cart here. We've got two more families. We'll get them moved in. And we almost have enough people to staff the post office, but we are creating some issues elsewhere in the city. That was easy enough to fix, just had to steal some artisans from the warehouse. And now we should be close. And by close, I mean we're 5 short. That is wild. Now we're in kind of an interesting spot where every time I add someone into the community, something else breaks down. So I'm going to keep adding people until we reach an equilibrium once again. And that took a while, but we finally reached an equilibrium and we have a dramatically larger population. And that leaves me with 2 more things that I want to do. First, I want to add in the chapel, and I think I'll add that right here next to the pond. Now, there's more that I want to add here, but we need to unlock the stonework decorations first, and that requires 750 research points. And unfortunately, we only have 481 right now. We're gaining those very slowly because we only have one person researching, and we're currently short 6 employees here at the chapel. So once again, we're going to expand. And we're close to what we need for the chapel, but while we're waiting, I think it's probably wise to add everyone right here to the research center. And like clockwork, 3 more families. 1 right there, 1 right there, and 1 right there. Now, interestingly, we almost have enough employees to fully staff the chapel without pulling away any researchers. So the great news is I can still leave 3 there, no problem. And in no time at all, we have the research necessary to unlock stonework decorations. And the whole reason that I wanted these is we're going to use these to make a graveyard. So we'll use the natural stone fences to create headstones. And then in this area, I want to create some sort of a monument. So we'll add a statue, a couple of small stone basins, a bit of seating, and then some light. That gets me thinking. I want to have some candles set up here. And that right there strikes all the notes I was going for. There's one more thing that I want to do today, and that is reach Big City. To do that, we have to have 25 bourgeois residents. So even though they don't have any jobs right now, we're going to upgrade 1 more home so that we reach that milestone. And that once again broke almost everything in the city. So we'll need to expand once again. And getting that fixed wasn't all that bad this time around. And that means that it's time to upgrade. My goodness, this is the biggest and the grandest building in town now. That's wild. And our city has now reached stage 7. And my goodness, there's some exciting things that we get to build at some point in the future. But alas, it will not be today because I think that we're going to leave it here. We've accomplished a ton today. The city is more than double in size, and in my opinion, it looks a ton better. It feels like there's room to grow in the future and like things are planned for expansion. Now in the comments below, let me know if there's anything in particular that you want me to build in the next one. The one thing that I absolutely know that I want to build is I want to build some sort of a fairground. But again, if there's something you know that you want me to build, drop it in the comments below. And I've got to say, I am absolutely adoring this game. Everything about it is just so charming and it's just so fun to play. Playing this just makes me happy. And I don't really know any other way to explain it. It's just a really, really fun, relaxing, and charming game. And I hope that you're enjoying this series. If you are, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. And I want to thank you so much for your time today. There's a million things you could have been doing, but you decided to hang out with me and play Town to City and level up this community. And for that, I appreciate you and I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.